You know that feeling, right? A new season of a show you love is out, but you can't for the life of you remember how the last one ended. Well, big tech thought it had the perfect solution: AI-generated recaps. But what happens when the AI designed to catch you up gets the past totally, completely wrong?
So here was the big promise from Amazon. They were rolling out this first-of-its-kind AI feature on Prime Video. The idea was to create these incredible, high-quality video summaries for you. I mean, basically, a personal previously on whipped up just for you. Sounds pretty amazing, doesn't it?
But yeah, that didn't quite work out. The whole thing ran into a huge problem with one of Amazon's biggest shows of the year, Fallout. Fans started watching these AI summaries and pretty quickly realized they weren't just a little bit off, they were making some massive, massive mistakes. And we're not talking about a small mistake here. The scale of this error was just staggering. The AI saw a scene with a cool, retro vibe and called it a 1950s flashback. Now, anyone who's seen the show knows that scene takes place in the year 2077, literally right before the world ends. That is a mistake of over 120 years.
And get this, it wasn't just that one mistake. Users on Reddit started pointing out all sorts of other problems. The AI completely misinterpreted a really important scene between two main characters, the Ghoul and Lucy, and it totally changed their relationship. Think about that. If you're a new viewer, you're starting the show with a completely warped idea of who these characters are and what they're about.
So what happened? Well, the errors were so bad that Amazon just quietly pulled the entire feature. This super ambitious theatrical quality recap tool, it just vanished from Prime Video. Poof, gone.
Now, it would be easy to just look at this and think, okay, so Amazon messed up. Big deal. But is this really just an Amazon problem? The answer is a big, resounding no. This is actually part of a much wider pattern that you've probably seen before.
As you can see, this is a familiar story across big tech. Amazon's mess-up with Fallout recaps is in some interesting company. Apple's had its own share of trouble with its AI news summaries, and I'm sure we've all seen the headlines about Google's AI overviews being mocked for giving some truly bizarre and wrong answers.
In fact, just this year, in 2024, Apple had to hit the brakes on its own AI summary feature because of all the complaints. In one really bad case, it generated a completely false news alert about a high-profile person. That just goes to show you how high the stakes can get when these summaries get things wrong.
So what is going on here? Why do these incredibly powerful AI tools, built by the biggest companies on the planet, keep failing at something that seems so simple, like just summarizing something accurately?
Well, it all comes down to the technology itself, generative AI. And the most important word there is generative. It creates things. It's not like a search engine that just pulls up a direct quote from a database. It's more like it's trying to write an essay. It synthesizes information to create something new. And, well, sometimes it gets the facts wrong.
And this right here is the absolute core of the problem. Generative AI is designed to be plausible. It's trained to make text that sounds good, that sounds convincing, that sounds human. It is not designed to be a fact checker. Its main goal is a believable output, not necessarily a truthful one. So you end up with this fundamental conflict. On one hand, generative AI is fantastic at sounding confident, at mimicking writing styles, and it's spitting out text really, really fast. But on the other hand, it really struggles with the things you absolutely need for a good summary: verifying facts, understanding the real context, and guaranteeing accuracy. That's the trade-off we're seeing play out.
And this all leaves us with a pretty important question to think about. Look, we all want the convenience of a quick summary, but as these AI tools pop up everywhere, we really have to ask ourselves, when does all this convenience start to come at the cost of the truth?